Remember the university professor that I talked about this week that pissed me off because I'm a fellow university professor? Well, Georgia State University, one of their professors decided to call the police on 2 students because those students were 2 minutes late. The teacher left the class, came back with the police. Ridiculous. We have an update to that story. That educator has been removed. Let me remind you of the commentary that went viral. Here it is.
2 black students had the police called on them today at Georgia State's perimeter campus in Newton County for being 2 minutes late to class. You heard me correctly, 2 minutes late to class, and they had the police called on them. When the professor then asked them to leave, Taylor responded and said, "We paid to be here." The professor, Carissa Gray, then responded, "Okay," and left the room. When she returned with 2 armed police officers.
Ridiculous, right? I've been a professor since 2016. I've never called the police on any of my students. I do have students that are tardy. Let me let you in on a secret. I don't even mark them tardy, okay? They're adults, all right? I don't mark them tardy. Don't need to. If they get the information, they pay to be there. I look at education like this. You have paid to dine in a buffet, a good buffet, not a cheap kind, a high quality buffet. You get access because of that. If you choose to come and only get a few items off of that buffet, well, that's on you. It will reflect in your consumption. But if you decide to maximize it, take full advantage of it, you can do that as well. But you pay to be there. The business model of education is simple. Students pay for the school to provide a product, and the product is known as higher education. Now, obviously, this was an insane response. The students clearly said the truth. We pay to be here. That educator decided to leave the classroom, get the police, bring a gun to a situation which could have ended in significant disaster. And she thought this was appropriate. Well, according to students that I've spoken with on the campus of Georgia State University, and yes, I know students there. Yes, I know professors there. Many of them asked me not to do this segment. Obviously, I did not listen to them. But students there say that they do this all the time. That professors are calling campus police all the time. And I will say this about Georgia State University police. I live in Atlanta where the college is located. If you get pulled over by a GSU cop, they swear that they are the FBI, okay? It's ridiculous. All right, here's some background. Georgia State University professor has been removed from teaching classes on campus after she called school police last week on 2 students who arrived late to class, officials said Monday. Now, I see some of the commentary on social media about, well, why is it a big deal that campus security came? Georgia State University, they have an accredited police department. It is not campus security. It is actually the police, post certified, meaning they have arrest authority in the state of Georgia and they have weapons, okay? Guns and stuff. All right, one Twitter user said, it's one thing to be strict as a professor. It's an entirely different thing to be so quick to get the police involved. When you yourself are black and know how they can act toward black people. And there's another highlight, the professor is black as well, okay? The president of the college is a black male. I've heard great things about his leadership. In this case, the action was swift. So big ups to the leadership for making a decision quickly. There's more. Carissa Gray is the name of the professor, an associate English professor, will not teach any of her classes in person this semester on Georgia State's Newton County campus. The university's vice president for communications, Andrea Jones, told the AJC, Atlanta Journal-Constitution, on Monday, Professor Gray will teach 1 class virtually. She was removed from teaching the in-person classes so students could finish the semester with minimal disruption. The 2 students asked to stay in Gray's class last Wednesday after arriving a few minutes late. Professor Gray left the classroom and called campus police, who returned with her, university officials said. The 2 students met Monday with the university's interim provost and interim police chief, Jones said. The English department chair and a student life representative met with the class, Jones added. The discussions were productive, Jones said. Georgia State has more than 52,000 students, the largest enrollment of any college or university statewide. And out of that 52,000, a significant number of students are Black. In academia, we kind of joke with each other and we call Georgia State University a de facto HBCU. That's how many Black people attend the university, all right? So we have some movement here. Obviously, this action was extreme, lacked sensitivity, and the administration will still have much to answer for because according to the students, there's a culture that permeates on that campus where professors feel as if to handle Black students, you must call the police. Well, that is a problem with me. I am a diehard student advocate. Whole lot of people at my college that I teach at don't like me. I'm okay with that. I will always advocate for students. All right, Madam, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I'm glad to see that there was accountability and that the leadership took swift action. I mean, I'm not that familiar with the Georgia State system, but it sounds like this is a satellite campus. I've heard from a lot of students at satellite campuses and some of our universities in Ohio that they don't always feel like they're getting the same level of resources, treatment, that you don't have the same kind of learning environment. And so, as we hear, because I'm running for federal office, as we hear at the federal level that we need to be prioritizing training, educational opportunities for people and young people, we need to make sure that we are creating learning environments that meet folks at all levels of education that they're seeking in all places and geographies. So yeah, there needs to be some reflection here on what kind of learning environments are we creating, and the police don't really need to have a role in that, and being late to class is not a crime, the last time I checked.
That's right, and Morgan, most colleges do not have the police, and teachers are able to teach, professors are able to lecture, and people have to remember this, and I say this to anyone who's in education, you can't teach them if they're not there. And if you are called to teach, that is your primary obligation. I am glad that at least they are in the classroom.